The FDA has granted full approval to the COVID vaccine, which undoubtedly paves the way for mandates. What will you do when your employer tells you you can't come back to work without the shot? What will you do if American Airlines tells you you can't get a plane ticket without the shot? What about when you can't get into the grocery store? Is this the mark of the beast? We're going to talk about it. Welcome to End of the Age. Vince Stegall here with Doug Norvell. We're so excited that you have decided to join us today. We have an incredible show prepared for you today because yesterday the FDA approved the COVID shot, and we all start getting calls and emails about what that could mean, Doug. So how's it been going for you managing all the calls and emails?
It's been busy, to say the least. You got to sit in on one of those calls a while ago. So
I did.
It's been a busy day with questions about this stuff and emails, and so I know everybody's anxiously awaiting what our opinion is on this situation, but we can always point them back to the Bible for the truth of what we know. So
the camera was on me for that whole time you were talking, so
that's okay.
Everyone's going to wonder why Doug wasn't moving his mouth, because they think I'm Doug sometimes, and they think you're Vince. Sometimes they think you're Dave. Yesterday someone said, "Yeah, I really like that point, Dave," and I'm like, they must be talking about Doug.
Dave, Doug. We brothers from another mother. So.
Yep, no doubt. So we better get right into it, huh?
Yeah.
The FDA grants full approval to Pfizer BioNTech's COVID shot, clearing path to more vaccine mandates. Now, the story says the Food and Drug Administration on Monday granted full approval to Pfizer and BioNTech's COVID-19 vaccine, becoming the first in the U.S. to win the coveted designation and giving even more businesses, schools, and universities greater confidence to adopt vaccine mandates. Up until now, the mRNA vaccine was on the U.S. market under an emergency use authorization that was granted by the FDA in December. Since then, more than 204 million of the Pfizer shots have been administered. Federal health officials had been under mounting pressure from the scientific community and advocacy groups to fully approve Pfizer and BioNTech's vaccine ever since the drug makers submitted their application.
What do you think that means?
Which
exactly? That part about they've been under a lot of pressure from them. That just kind of, the federal health officials have been under mounting pressure from the scientific community.
I think it means that their number one concern is our safety.
Oh, is that what it is?
And so therefore,
I gotcha.
Because safety is the most important thing.
Yeah.
That needs to happen.
That's good. Okay.
Because when you stamp something with an approval, it magically is everything that you needed it to be all of a sudden.
That's a good point. Yeah.
So
that's true.
It's as this has stated, and many articles have stated. I mean, this is from CNBC. There's articles from Forbes. There's articles from every news outlet about this.
Absolutely.
They're saying this is paving the way for mandates to occur. So we're posing the question: what are you going to do when your employer says you can't come back to work unless you have the shot? You can't get an airplane ticket, you can't get into the grocery store, you can't go to the mall, you can't go to these places that you're used to going unless you have that shot. What do you do? We are taking your calls. The number is 1-877-Endtime, 1-877-363-8463. We would love to hear your thoughts. We'd love to hear what you plan to do in response to any mandates that may come your way. This is a topic that can come across as fearful, which that is not our intent. We are not in the fear business. We're in the faith business. We believe that no matter what comes our way, no matter what we face, we should not have fear. God has not given us the spirit of fear. So in spite of how uncomfortable we may get sometimes, fear is not the answer. We would never want to encourage that. We want to encourage the good news that no matter what weapon forms against us, it's not going to prosper because we have Jesus. Jesus plus you plus Jesus is a majority. So if you're on Jesus' side, you have nothing to worry about. Speaking of worry, a lot of people worry about the wrath of God. A lot of people say, oh man, what's going to happen during the wrath of God? What's going to happen to me and my loved ones? What if I'm already saved? There's a lot of what ifs around it. And in a response to that, Dave has created a lesson called the 7 Vials. And it is not available yet. We're not shipping it out yet. However, this month only, you can get that DVD for a donation of any amount. So no matter what you give, $5, $100, somebody this weekend at the conference gave $600, doesn't matter the amount. Go to endtime.com/DVD and you can sign up to be one of the first one to receive that lesson when it ships in September for any amount. So whatever donation you do, we're going to send it to you for free. So be sure to get in on that, endtime.com/DVD, to get the 7 Vials. You can also watch the trailer there.
It's a great trailer, by the way.
You can also go call 800-ENDTIME, 800-363-8463. All right, so back to this story. Although more than 60% of the total U.S. population has had at least one dose of a COVID vaccine, many Americans say they are still hesitant about getting vaccinated even as highly contagious Delta variant spreads. Full approval may convince some Americans that the shots are safe. Doctors and, let's see, where am I? Sorry, I lost my place. A survey from the Kaiser Family Foundation found 3 in 10 unvaccinated adults said they would be more likely to get vaccinated if one of the vaccines received full approval. U.S. approval is also likely to spur a new wave of vaccine mandates from corporate America. Major companies from Walt Disney to Walmart have already told some or all of their employees that they must get fully vaccinated against COVID this fall. Still, some private businesses may have felt hesitant about requiring the shots before full approval. The Pentagon said it would make vaccinations mandatory for service members no later than the middle of September or sooner if the FDA grants full approval earlier.
Yeah.
So they have, and it's not mid-September yet, so we shall see.
Right. Well, and everything that I see says that definitely the military is going to start doing this, and probably sooner than September now that it's been approved by the FDA.
So this isn't a scare tactic. This isn't us trying to say you should be scared or you should be fearful. This is...
Some people are real excited about it.
True.
I mean, you know, there's a lot of people that don't see anything wrong with it, and they are excited that, you know, it's finally been approved. And now they see that this is going to be an effort that's going forth that's going to get more people on board with it, because once the FDA approves it, then it's got to be okay, right? Mm-hmm. So that's the, you know, the mindset of a lot of people. And a lot of people have, you know, like it said, 60% of the United States population has already been vaccinated.
And well, what we're going to bring out in today's show is that our concern is not nearly about the vaccination as it is about the mandates that are going to be coming, and how that's a precursor to a world government, to a mark of the beast. So we're going to dive into that after the break. We got some video clips to share with you. We'd love to hear your thoughts and how you plan to react to these potential mandates. Call us at 1-877-ENDTIME, 1-877-363-8463.
Hi, I'm Judy Baxter. When Irvin and I got married, we didn't realize that our calling would be a prophetic ministry. Since we started Endtime Ministries, there have been many times we weren't sure how we would pay the bills, but God has always provided. We started with a magazine, then went on radio and TV, and now we have the Jerusalem Prophecy College in Israel and online and End of the Age Plus. The mission has always been to reach people with the gospel of Jesus Christ and the end-time message. Through the years, my husband would say, we will see revival like never before in the last days. We are living in the end time now. Thank you for walking this journey with us and continuing in prayer. You are a part of the team. Thank you for your generous support. It is necessary for God's purpose. The most important thing is that you are ready when the Lord comes. Our hope is to help prepare you for that day. God bless you, and we love you.
The 7 vials are coming in the form of sores, darkness, great hail, people being scorched with immense heat, and more. Bible prophecy shows us that each of these judgments will be far worse than anything imaginable. The good news is there is hope. In our brand new video, learn how to be immune from these gruesome judgments and have peace in the end time. This month only, get our new DVD, The 7 Vials, with a gift of any amount. Go to endtime.com/DVD or call us at 800-ENDTIME. That's 800-363-8463. This offer is only valid through the end of the month. Go to endtime.com/DVD or call 800-ENDTIME. Welcome back to End of the Age. Vince Stegall here with Doug Norvell. We have open lines at 1-877-ENDTIME, 1-877-363-8463. We'd love to hear from you today. What are you going to do when your employer mandates a vaccine, or when the grocery store mandates it, or wherever? Fill in the blank. We'd love to hear your thoughts on what your response will be. Now, Doug, we do have a video clip that we were wanting to get right into. I think it's of Biden, is that correct?
Yes, that's correct.
All right, so let's go to the first video.
The FDA approval is the gold standard. And as I just said, now it has been granted. Those who've been waiting for full approval should go get your shot now. The vaccination is free, it's easy, it's safe, and it's effective. And it's convenient. For 90% of Americans, there's a vaccination site less than 5 miles from your home, and you can get the shot without an appointment. So please, get your shot today. There is no time to waste. The Delta variant is dangerous and spreading, causing a pandemic of the unvaccinated. That's the pandemic of the unvaccinated.
So, Doug, is it racist that only 90% of Americans have a vaccination spot near their home?
That's a good question. I hadn't looked at it from a race respect, but they look at everything racially. So,
well, I mean, I figure if there's not convenient voting locations,
it could be. I mean,
it's hard to establish that principle in one area and not apply it to the other.
That's true. It should be, if it's that important, it should be 100% available to everybody within 5 miles, I would think.
I would think.
I live in a rural area, and I know that it's available within probably 5 miles of me. I would think that it would.
Really?
Yeah, because there's like a Walgreens on the corner in downtown. So,
okay.
I mean, we're kind of modernized, even though we're a small town. So, but I mean, so this video, and I apologize today if I come off a little sarcastic sometimes, Vince. I'll just apologize to everybody right now. But some of the things that that are being said, like right now we have a pandemic of the unvaccinated, but we're going to look at another article in a minute where there's even the vaccinated people are coming down with this variant. It's not just about the unvaccinated. People that are fully vaccinated are getting it. But we've got another clip. He says something interesting here. I'd like to go to that one so that we can move on to the next story, because it's very interesting what he says here.
Well, before we do, I want to remind everyone, if you're on Facebook, we do need your help. When we put a title out, anything about vaccinations or anything about mandates or masks or whatever it may be, undoubtedly our video doesn't notify our typical followers that we're going live. And so if you're on Facebook, if you could hit the share button, hit the heart icon, it helps a lot in breaking through the algorithm a little bit and getting to your friends and family. So share this video. It'll help get this out to viewers. And we think everybody needs to see this, because the news is pushing fear. Every time you turn around, the politicians are pushing fear. And what we believe our job is to do is to say, yes, fear is being pushed everywhere in the world. However, we have a message of faith. We have a message of hope that if you get on Jesus' side, you have nothing to be afraid of. And so we're going to be talking about this vaccination, what it could mean. Is it the mark of the beast? All that stuff today on this show. And we think that everybody on Facebook needs to see this video. So please share it. Please hit the heart icon. It'll help us out a lot. All right. Sorry, Doug. Let's check out that clip.
Yeah.
According to the experts from the Yale School of Public Health, the pace of our vaccination effort has saved over 100,000 lives and have prevented more than 450,000 hospitalizations. This is critical progress, where we need to move faster. As I mentioned before, I've imposed vaccination requirements that will reach millions of Americans. Today, I'm calling on more companies, I should say, in the private sector to step up with vaccine requirements that'll reach millions more people. If you're a business leader, a nonprofit leader, a state or local leader who has been waiting for full FDA approval to require vaccinations, I call on you now to do that. Require it. Do what I did last month. Require your employees to get vaccinated or face strict requirements.
Okay, so here's my problem, Vince. We're getting down to the point now, and I'm not against anybody that's taking the vaccine. If that's what you felt like you needed to do, that's great, and I'm glad you did it. If that's going to make you feel safer, and if you're in that category where, you know, if you were to get this, it could be very devastating for you, and so you believe that this vaccine is for you, that's great, and that's wonderful, because that's your choice as an American. But the fact that now they're going to say, okay, because it's been approved by the FDA, there's a lot of things approved by the FDA, Vince, that I don't have to go out and get, you know? I mean, I don't have cancer, but what if they were telling me I had to have chemotherapy or radiation? That's been approved by the FDA to treat those things, but yet I don't have it. I don't have COVID, so why do I have to go out and get this in order to have a job and get a paycheck, go to the grocery store, get on a plane, all those things? This is eerily like what we talk about the mark of the beast, even though we know it's not. I'm saying right now it's not, and we'll talk about that a little bit later. But he's saying now these corporations must make it mandate. They must.
So if everyone mandates it, does it become the mark of the beast?
No, it's still not going to be the mark of the beast, okay?
Why not? Because it sounds so much like it.
I know it does. It sounds a lot like it, and that's why so many people are freaked out and a little scared about it. But the thing is that we know the Antichrist will have to be revealed, the false prophet will have to be revealed, and that the system of the one world government will have to be set up in place before this mark is dealt out. So we're talking about the mark coming out somewhere within the final 3.5 years between the revealing of the Antichrist and the return of Jesus Christ. Somewhere in there.
Do we know
who the
Antichrist is yet?
We do not know that yet.
So you're saying, since we don't know that, the COVID shot or vaccine, whatever you want to refer to it as,
right,
cannot be the mark of the beast.
Cannot be according to Scripture.
Even if it says, even if our country mandates it and says you can't go into the grocery store without it, you can't get on a plane without it, you can't have a job without it.
Yeah.
Still not the mark of the beast.
Still not the mark of the beast.
Okay, so make sure it's clear, because we say this stuff and people still think that we say it is.
Right. Well, that's because there's a lot of people that are prophecy teachers that are saying that this is the mark of the beast.
But not in time.
Not in time. It's a precursor, which means they're getting things set up for that, which means that they are trying to condition your mind and get you ready to start having to rely on the government for things like this. And that's where they're heading. I'm sure that this is a test run of some type. You know, maybe they don't realize it, but the power that drives it it's a test run to see how many people are just going to accept something because now the government says you must do this or else. I mean, I know people that are scared to death because they're thinking, I've got to take care of myself so I can take care of my family, or I got to take care of myself so that I can take care of my babies. And so they're like, I have to get this vaccine. But what happens 3, 4, 5 years down the road from here? That's the concern. There hasn't been enough testing, in my opinion. Of course, I'm nobody, but I'm just saying that that's where my concerns come in.
So you think this could be a precursor in that they're testing the systems, they're testing all that,
right?
And then so the system could be in place, or at least able to be in place quickly prior to the Antichrist being revealed.
Yes.
It's not like we're going to go, here's the Antichrist, and then all of a sudden, years later, he's going to have to develop a system.
Right.
So the
and
system's
remember,
being set
too, that it's a one-world global system. We don't even have that yet. I mean, the world can't even get together on all this.
Which
yet.
people are arguing about, like, we can't possibly feel safe about the vaccine because there's not a system to track who has and who doesn't have it.
Right.
So people are making that argument right now.
Yeah, absolutely.
What if they get that in place?
Yeah. And
how many what ifs can I give you to try to get you to say it's the mark of the beast?
Yeah, it's not going to be the mark of the beast.
Okay.
So, but the thing is,
I think you've been very clear.
Yeah.
It's not the mark of the beast.
Well, I get emails from folks that say, Doug, I can tell you're holding back. Just let us know what you think. So today's the day, folks. I let you know what I think. I'm sharing with you what I believe, and I'm also sharing with you what we know from Scripture. So I'm letting you know this is not the mark of the beast. I don't like it. I don't like the fact that they're trying to tell people you have to take this. And we live in America, and we're supposed to be the home of the free and the land of the brave and the home of the free. And it's not happening. It's like they're saying, no, you're going to do this. We don't care about your freedoms. Arnold Schwarzenegger's, he made a comment last week, and
Is he like a guy you've looked up to because of the...
Well, I mean, he's
Terminator and all that stuff.
He's Arnold Schwarzenegger.
So this is kind of devastating.
The Governor. So, but he said, that it wasn't about your freedoms. He didn't say it in so many words.
I could tell that hit a little different.
I don't like it when actors and movie stars and people like that get up and start telling you what you should do.
Who are living such a lavish life because of our freedoms.
Yeah, absolutely. And being in a lockdown in his home would not be the same as being locked down in
12,000 square foot home with people making his meals and all that stuff.
Yeah. So we've gotten way off base here, and I apologize, but I just kind of went on a rant, and I apologize. One of the things that President Biden said there was, do what I did last month. So he's claiming that he made it mandatory for his employees at the White House to take the vaccine.
Well, that's what it sounds like.
That's what it sounds like. But look at what our next article says.
Before we do that, I do want to tell everybody, Dave and Jan is going to be in Fort Worth this weekend. So if you're in the Dallas-Fort Worth area, make plans to attend our conference there. Saturday nights at 6 p.m. Dave's going to be talking about the future. Lots of people want to know about the future. Well, this will be a great session for you to attend on Saturday night at 6 p.m. And then on Sunday at 10 a.m., he's going to be talking about breaking prophetic fulfillments with a question and answer session to follow. So any questions that you have, you can come up to a microphone, ask him. He'll answer them there right in front of everybody. So it'll be very fun, and you'll definitely want to make plans to come out and meet Dave and Jana. You can go to endtime.com/events to learn more about the venue and the address and all the details you need for that conference. Or if you don't really want to go to a website, give us a call. We'll be happy to help you. 1-800-ENDTIME. All right.
Who wouldn't want to go to our website?
Well, some people are not technologically sound.
Okay. All right.
And they have problems with the pewters, is what.
All right.
We've received emails that people said pewter instead of computer.
Yeah.
And so I can tell they wouldn't be ones that want to go to the website.
Okay, I got you.
Maybe I'm discriminating. I don't intend to. It's just, it is what it is.
It's a generational thing.
Perhaps.
Yeah.
All right. Here's a story about the White House from Becker News and the press secretary's comments about a mandated vaccine. So, as you said, President Biden said, do what I did. Mm-hmm. So let's hear. The fact of the matter is the White House staff has the freedom to choose whether or not to get the experimental COVID-19 vaccine, but members of our military do not. Neither do many federal workers, healthcare workers, or hardworking American employees. During a press conference, one reporter asked Press Secretary Jen Psaki, quote, "Can you clarify, is the administration not mandating vaccines for White House staff?" Psaki shot back, "No, we have not mandated it." The journalist asked the follow-up question, quote, "And do you have a count or can you offer any confirmation to us on the percentage of employees who are vaccinated?" Again, short-tempered Psaki responded, quote, "I am not going to provide that. I will see if there's more information to provide. Unfortunately, our servicemen and women have not been awarded the same freedoms as the White House staff. The Department of Defense will require all U.S. military troops to take the COVID-19 vaccine by September 15th. The Associated Press reported the deadline could be pushed up if the vaccine receives final FDA approval or injection rates continue to rise. Of course, that has happened now. Mm-hmm. Some soldiers have joined together and are filing a lawsuit in court against the coming military vaccination mandate.
Yeah. And when it comes to hearing things that aren't necessarily true from the White House. I guess that we should just get in the mindset that we're going to maybe hear some things that aren't true when it comes out of somebody's mouth. Politicians generally don't, they're not real honest, in my opinion. But, I mean, he flat out said, do what I did last month. I made it mandatory. But here we have his press secretary saying, nope, not mandatory. So do as I say, not as I do applies in this situation, I guess, Vince. And when it comes to our military, they feel like they own those men and women anyway, like they're property of the United States government, and they're going to do what they tell them to do regardless.
We have another clip we want everyone to see. We've got less than 2 minutes. Is there time?
Yeah.
All right, let's play that third video.
So can you clarify, is the administration not mandating vaccines for White House staff?
No, we have not mandated.
Okay. And do you have a count, or can you offer any confirmation to us on the percentage of employees who are vaccinated?
I'm not going to provide that. I will see if there's more information to provide.
She's not going to provide the percentage that they got, but they tell us percentages all the time when it comes to us. But when it comes to White House staff, no, you can't have those percentages.
Why not?
Because it's do as I say, not as I do. I used to hate it when my parents would tell me that, because I said so.
Yeah, and you still hate it, it sounds like.
I do, especially when my government's telling me because I said so. So anyway, everybody now knows how I feel about this vaccine and about it being mandated and about these restrictions that they're going to put on people. Those are not laws, by the way. Restrictions and mandates are not laws, right?
Well, so we're talking about world government, or we're talking about the coming mark of the beast.
Yes.
So with all this being said, what is happening here that relates to that?
Control, control, control.
Uh-oh.
So that's exactly what the world government wants to do. They want to control you. They want to make sure that you're following all their laws, all their decrees, just like it's happened over and over in the Bible. We've seen it happen with, Egypt, with Babylon, with Rome.
Everyone?
Yeah.
Anytime there's been a world power, that's how it's worked out.
Yes, sir.
All right, we will be taking your calls after the break. The number to call is 1-877-Endtime, 1-877-363-8463.
I've been part of the Endtime family from the beginning over 30 years ago when my parents, Irvin and Judy Baxter, began ministry from the recliner in our living room. My name is Jana Robbins. I have the pleasure of connecting with our incredible partners every day. Endtime is a small nonprofit that runs a high-traffic website, a daily TV and radio show, the Prophecy College in Jerusalem, and more. Although we have less than 30 team members, we are able to serve tens of millions of people each month. We survive on the goodness of God and donations averaging about $50. If everyone hearing this message gave $22, our financial needs would be met for the year. If you only give to one cause per month, please consider partnering with Endtime to help get the message of our soon-coming King out to the world. Call us at 1-800-ENDTIME to give today, or go to endtime.com to become a monthly or one-time partner.
Whether it's a global pandemic, threat of war, or floundering economies, end-time events are happening around the world every day. How can you have peace in a world of such great uncertainty? With the Endtime magazine subscription, you can gain a deeper understanding of current events and its prophesied repercussions. Endtime magazine's exclusive content and prophetic insight allows you to understand where we are in the end time. It will give you peace when horrific news and events happen. When you subscribe today to Endtime magazine for 12 months for just $19.99, you can have hope for the future because you will understand what the Bible says about the time we are living in. You'll get access to exclusive articles like the Prophesied American-Israeli Alliance, Endtime Do's and Don'ts, and Could School Choice Save America? Subscribe for you or a friend right now. Go to endtime.com or call 1-800-ENDTIME. That's 1-800-ENDTIME.
If your station only carries the first 30 minutes of End of the Age, go to endtime.com and click the watch button to continue today's broadcast. You can also finish up later by clicking the archive button.
Welcome back to End of the Age. Vince Stegall here with Doug Norvell. We are taking your calls at 1-877-ENDTIME, 800-363-8463. Before we get to the phones, I do want to remind you about the 7 Vials DVD, a brand new DVD by Dave Robbins that you want to get this month only. It's available for a donation of any amount. So whatever the Lord lays on your heart to give for it, go to endtime.com/DVD, and you can put any amount in, and you'll be one of the first to receive the 7 vials when it ships in September. So be sure to do that today. You can also call 800-ENDTIME, 800-363-8463, and one of our agents can take care of that over the phone with you. All right, let's get right to the phones. Greg in Texas, welcome to End of the Age.
Hey, how you guys doing?
We're well. How are you?
Oh, I'm pretty good. You guys are doing a pretty good job there, I tell you what. First things first, though, I miss Irvin's voice.
Yeah, we do too.
Absolutely.
We do too.
We really do miss Irvin's voice. I sent an email to Mr. Beard, and I've got a copy of this final approval at an LOA, or the BLA approval for Pfizer from the FDA, and I sent it to him, and it's a 13-page document, and I've read through this over and over and over and over, and as far as I can tell, there's no absolute approval on it. This is a continuation of a EUA.
And who'd you say you sent that to, Greg?
D. Beard.
Okay. So that I'll have to get with him, and I'll have to check that out and learn more about it.
Would you please?
Yes, sir. Absolutely.
I've been through this 13-page document 5 times now, and there are some age differences, from 12 to 16 and 16 and up. There's a new drug called Comirnaty. It's a little confusing, but as far as I can tell, this is not an absolute FDA approval.
Okay, very interesting. Well, I will definitely get with Dave and check that out. So I guess you talked to him on the phone and got his email and sent it to him so we would have a copy, correct?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, it's easily, you can pull it up on online. It's at a website called scribd.com.
Okay.
CRIBD. Okay?
All right, well, thank you,
Greg. I want
Greg.
you guys to look through that because I'm getting a little angry over this. We're getting tired of all these lies, and I've got 3 sons that are going to have to live through this. And it's come down to the point where I don't know if, honestly, between me and you, I don't know if this is all Satan or if it's just part of humanity, too.
Well, Greg, it's not between just you and me. We are live on the air. And welcome to the club of getting angry about it.
Yeah, I'm
pretty worked up, too.
I had, my younger son got COVID. This is about 6 weeks ago. He had it for 2 weeks, got over it. I got it from him when he was in his fever stage. I'm 69 this month. And it took me 4.5. I just got over it about a week ago. Wow. And I did massive vitamins, rest. I went through all the bad. It was like about 10 days of the fever, the headaches, the fever, and then followed up with weakness, breathing problems like you wouldn't believe. But I beat it. I finally got some what they call the ivermectin after 4 weeks. I had to wait 3 weeks to get it.
Wow.
Well, Greg, we're glad you made it through, and we're rejoicing.
And I feel good now because I'm totally immune now.
Yeah.
But I don't want to take their shot.
Right. I'm with you.
Thank you for your call, Greg. We appreciate it very much. We'll be praying with you about your sons, and also we'll get with David and see if we can see that document that you sent. We appreciate your call. All right, we will go to Michael in Florida. Michael, welcome to End of the Age.
Hey.
Hey, Michael.
Hey, I'm wondering, what are the options of what we're supposed to do when this vaccine does become the mark of the beast? Because, it's looking like certain death or imprisonment. There's not many options there. What's the game plan?
Well, Michael, for one thing, the vaccine, we don't believe will ever become the mark of the beast itself. The mark of the beast appears to be something that is going to affect our bank accounts and things like that, where they can put an economic sanction on us when we don't pledge allegiance to the world government, when we will not take that mark. The reason why we say it's a precursor is because there's so many things that looks like it goes along with what Scripture says about the mark of the beast. I know that there's a lot of people that say it is, and they know for sure, but there's no way, based on Scripture, that this is what it is. Now, there is going to come a time where we're going to have that mark of the beast system set up, and the Bible says that it'll be a mark in your hand or your forehead, and there are some words in there that in the Greek mean like to puncture or to poke, and so some people have said before, we've said it could possibly be a chip, where they put a chip in there, they can number you, they can track you, and your accounts will be hooked up to that, like your bank accounts will be hooked up to this thing. And we see precursors in many different ways other than just this vaccine. There's precursors in just the way that we shop now. When we go and we scan our own items and we pay with a card, I mean, they've been getting us ready for this for a long time. But the bottom line, this is going to be just like the sanctions that the UN puts on countries that won't play ball with them. If they're going against the grain with what the UN tells them and mandates toward these nations, they will put economic sanctions on these nations. That's the same thing that the mark of the beast will be. It will be like an economic sanction that they can bring right down to the individual themselves. So that's another reason why we don't believe this vaccine is the mark of the beast and why it can't be. The timing for one, but it's not really, the vaccine is not really set up to be an economic sanction. The vaccine is more about, they want you to take this because they want to make sure everybody is being safe. Like Vince said, that's their whole thing behind this is for your safety.
That's their marketing campaign.
It's a marketing campaign. You're right.
Well, Michael,
I don't think it's for my safety. I mean, Jesus Christ protects me. I mean,
absolutely. Just
like King David said, that thousands by thousands, tens of thousands will fall on my left and right side.
Yeah.
I haven't got the COVID yet, and I don't believe I will get it. And I think that faith is strong enough.
Well, Michael, you asked about a game plan. What we always start with for everyone is we tell people that more importantly than their physical being is their spiritual being and where they'll spend eternity. So our number one starting point for everyone that asks that question is you need to be right with God. You need to be born again. And so we start there. And then if you want to prep and do whatever else you want to do about physical things, that's certainly whatever you desire to do. So we encourage people to get right spiritually, and that's really our game plan is to be right spiritually, rely on the Lord. We know what the disciples did when they were facing a world government in their day. They continued with their God-given purpose and trusted in the Lord, and so that's what we're going to do, and that's what we encourage everyone to do.
Absolutely.
So that's our game plan.
All right, guys. Well, bless you.
Thank you. God bless you, Michael. We appreciate your call. All right, we'll go to Drew in Washington. Drew, welcome to End of the Age.
Hello, it's Dre.
Oh, hey, Dre. Sorry about that.
Well, really, it's more of a, what should I do? I've been praying about it. The company I'm working for is United Airlines, and I don't know if you guys heard about it. They made it mandated for all employees to get the COVID shot. And if you don't, basically it can come down to them canning us, and they're giving us until like October. And so I'm still debating on it if I'm going to get it, pray on it. I really don't want to get it. But it's just like, it seems like they're really trying to control us all, And it's just like, what can we do,
Right. Well, there are some,
praying.
They say that you can submit a religious exemption. Thank you. That's the word I was looking for. So a religious exemption form, you can do that. Now, whether or not they'll accept that, I don't know how that's going to turn out for folks. But there are some websites where you can go to that can help you with that. If you just kind of look for that in a search engine and see if you can pull something up about the religious exemption forms, you can try that. But basically what we tell folks to do is this is one of those things where you really need to research it out yourself and just you're going to have to come to that conclusion on your own. I know that a lot of people, when we start dealing with our jobs and saying that you're going to have to do this if you're going to work here, that's just a decision that you're going to have to seek God on, because we really can't give you, medical advice for sure. But, I don't want to tell somebody I'd leave my job right now because, like I said, this is not the mark of the beast. It's not that.
Right.
Even though I don't agree with the fact that they're making it mandated and going to tell people you have to do it to hold a job.
Right. It's not has to do with the mark of the beast for me. It's the fact of I don't like shots anyway, but the other thing is that I don't think they've done enough research on this thing. Usually it takes years for medicine to even be ready, and all of a sudden this is already real quickly. I know technology is going fast, but it's just like,
Yeah. It should be a choice, Dre. It should be your choice. It should not be something that they force on you.
Right.
Yeah.
So that was really my concerns, and I'm still praying on it. I still got a little bit more time, but I am still meditating on it.
Yeah.
And really giving it to God, what I should do.
We'll be praying with you, Dre. I know you're in a tough spot, and whatever decision you make, I know it won't be an easy one, and so we'll be praying that the Lord guides you and that you move forward with an apostolic boldness and confidence.
Yeah.
Thank you. I'm enjoying the show, and I love being a subscriber. If no one else is subscribed to it, you should do it. It's worth it.
Thank you,
Dre.
Dre.
Learn a lot from it.
Thank you.
All right.
Appreciate it. He's talking
Talk
about
later.
Thank you, Dre. He's talking about End of the Age Plus. If you're not a subscriber, you can try it out for totally free. Doug, did you hear that? It's free. Try it out for free at watch.endtime.com, or you can search any of the major app stores and find End of the Age Plus there. It's a free trial for 14 days to see if you would like it. We think everybody should have one. It's has thousands of hours of prophecy content from Irvin and Dave, and I guess now we've been doing this show for several months, Doug. There's some stuff of me and you on there.
Yeah.
So
absolutely.
I don't know why anyone would go there to want to watch us, but nonetheless, there's a bunch of other stuff, and so
you can look at a lot of stuff in 14 days too.
No doubt. One of my favorite sections is Irvin's preaching. I was going to say tapes, but preaching audio files where you can go and listen to when Irvin was a pastor for 30-some years. We've taken those cassette tapes and turned them into audio files on Into the Age Plus, and so there's dozens of those available, and we're looking to add hundreds of more. So check that out under the Irvin's Sermons, I think is what it's called. But you can go to the Browse section of Into the Age Plus and watch those. All right, we'll be taking more of your calls after the break. Give us a call, 1-877-ENDTIME, 1-877-363-8463.
Does the book of Revelation frighten you? Do its symbols confuse you? For centuries, the book of Revelation has been misunderstood and misinterpreted. In Revelation, the unveiling of Jesus Christ, Volume 1, Irvin Baxter unlocks the mystery of the book of Revelation with in-depth analysis and commentary like you've never heard before. This 10-part definitive DVD series and 268-page comprehensive commentary book covers the first 12 chapters of the book of Revelation, featuring on-location photography, classic artwork, and symbolic illustrations. You'll walk away with complete understanding and peace about the events happening during the final years on Earth. These comprehensive study tools, available for $299, will deepen your biblical understanding as you dig into the original intent of the book, answering the mysterious prophecies and symbols of the book of Revelation. Don't miss this special offer. Call now, 1-800-ENDTIME, or go to endtime.com to order. Call or go online now to get this comprehensive Bible study.
Welcome back to End of the Age. Vince Seagal here with Doug Norvell. I do want to remind you again, Dave and Janet will be in Fort Worth this coming weekend, so Saturday at 6 p.m. and Sunday at 10 a.m. Dave will be doing prophecy conferences. Saturday night will be about the future, and Sunday will be about breaking prophetic fulfillments, and with a question and answering session to follow. You can learn more about the venue and other details of the event by going to endtime.com/events. All right, I do want to tell you, we talked to the gentleman from Washington, Dre from Washington, right before the break. And we actually have a story from Washington that we wanted to share with you. Literally, was it yesterday or today?
Today actually came out.
Okay, today the story came out. A 15-year-old girl was allegedly forced to wear an ankle tracking monitor for volleyball practice at Eatonville High School in Washington State as a condition of participating in team sports. No one at the school was able to answer her questions about the monitor. This is her mother, so she drove to the building. The mother spoke to an employee in the school office as well as a coach and was informed there was a meeting last week discussing the ankle monitoring program for unvaccinated teens.
I guess she didn't get the memo.
She didn't get the memo. Interesting how that works out sometimes.
Yeah.
The program was allegedly designed for contact tracing in the event of a positive COVID test of a student. The devices provide, quote, a visual and audible alarm so individuals know when to adjust their current distance to a proper social distance. Doug, I think ours would be going off. We're within 6 feet here. Additionally, the monitors provide passive collection of worker interactions for contact tracing should an individual test positive. According to Triax, the device is affixed to a hard hat or worn on the body for proximity detection and contact tracing. The mother said she was told by the principal that there were forms to opt out of the program at a meeting the previous week, which she was not informed about, and additionally had received no communication about the meeting or the devices. According to the mother, the athletic director acknowledged the error and apologized for the slip-up of not getting her consent.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. It makes you wonder who was in the meeting. Who was in the meeting and said, okay, it's fine to put the tracking device on my kid.
It's pretty interesting.
Yeah, well, and we can't fool ourselves that this stuff isn't happening in other places. You know, we had an article today that talks about a G2G pass that they give out in Australia. We know how strict Australia's been, Vince. We've seen video of police helicopters telling people on the beach, you need to go inside before you're arrested. And now they have a device.
We've seen video of them arresting people.
Yeah, we have seen that. And this device goes in a phone. It's a phone app. And you
the
get
one in Australia is.
Yeah, in Australia. And you get a phone call or you get a text, and you have to immediately go and do a face shot of where you are and check in and tell them where you are. Because if you are breaking your what do you call it? I can't even think of what I'm trying to say now. Yeah, well, not the curfew, but being locked in. If you're breaking the quarantine, thank you. If you break your quarantine, it says that the police will be notified. And if it happens more than once, or if you're not where you're supposed to be at the check-in, that even though this is a voluntary thing for you to put on your phone, then you can be arrested or you can be fined up to $50,000.
Well, and it's not even for quarantine either. They're doing stay-at-home orders there.
Yeah, you have to stay inside.
If you don't have a good reason for being out, and I don't know about where everyone that's watching or listening, I don't know how it was for you during the lockouts here, but in Texas, I was never pulled over and asked what I was doing out. I was never stopped by police and asked what I was doing. But in Australia, right now, I mean, there's a professional rugby player who got pulled over. He was like 90 minutes away from his home, and he was questioned. And I'm not sure if he's arrested or not, or fined, or both, or what it was. But basically, they were like, you're 90 minutes away from home for no good reason that we can come up with. He said he was looking for a new home to move up that area, and it turns out he had visited a friend while he was there, and therefore that wasn't a good enough reason to be out, and so he's facing some trouble, and there's a lot of stories like that in Australia, so it's pretty eerie.
Yeah, because it's basically turned into a police state. I mean, they're going to show me your papers, please. We know that didn't go too well in Nazi Germany. So
that's what it is.
Yeah, exactly. And it's happening in Canada. I mean, we've had two pastors that we've done stories on that have been arrested for holding church services. One of them had a helicopter surveilling his church service outside. They were having it outside. And he was arrested and taken to jail in front of his kids. I mean, and we've had our own, next door neighbor here in Louisiana, the state of Louisiana. Pastor Tony Spell was arrested during the lockdowns for continuing to have church service. So these things are very real. Yeah, absolutely. He had to wear an ankle monitor.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
what would you have done if and when Kaylee was in high school, if they'd have been like, "Hey, we put an ankle monitor on your daughter to
I would have had to
monitor."
do a lot of repenting and praying, Vince.
Yeah, I bet. All right, well, let's get to the phones and get Doug out of this. We'll go to Sam in Texas. Sam, welcome to Into the Age.
Hey guys, you know, I'm vaccinated, and where I work, we have to wear our mask, and I have no problem with that. But you keep on saying they. Who is they? They want you to do this. Who's they?
The government. The government's not just our government, but all the governments. The world government wants everybody vaccinated for this COVID-19. So it's the powers that be.
Okay, do you think the coronavirus is from God or from the enemy?
I don't know. I don't know what the coronavirus is.
You really don't know? You think it's from God?
I don't know if it's from God or not. I don't know if this was something that was created in a lab, like some people say, and it was used as a weapon. I don't know if that's true. I don't know where it's come from.
Well, wouldn't that still be from the enemy? I mean, steal, kill, and destroy. But anyway, if there was, say it is from the enemy, and the government, I don't know if it's because it's a Democrat, but I heard Trump said to take the shot this weekend. But say coronavirus is from the enemy, and the vaccine combats that, so that would be from God. But like Satan tempted Jesus and said, "Throw yourself on the rocks. God will save you." Jesus said it's not good to tempt God. So by not taking the vaccine, are we tempting God? Or people that are not taking it, testing God, I think was the correct word.
So
I'm just complete opposite to where you guys are coming from. You guys, Irvin back 20 years ago led me to Christ, but it wasn't with the Republican rhetoric. It wasn't for your denomination beliefs. It was on the timing that we don't have much time. We have to get ready. Mm-hmm. And, I'm just saying that I look at y'all's views and I want it to be more, because nobody that I know believes like we believe about the timing. But I just want to, if you guys, you're running off Democrats with your Republican rhetoric, and I think that the ministry should be to all Americans.
Well, I don't believe that this is a Republican-Democrat thing. It's a government thing, and that's the whole point we're trying to make. It's a government situation.
But I'm just saying the ministry, you guys, you especially you two, you can tell what party you belong to, and I don't think that should even be known. I mean, it should be like, hey, everybody, y'all come and listen.
Do you remember, how long ago was it when you started following Brother Baxter?
20 years.
Was it politics and religion whenever you started following?
Yes.
So it's always been a politics and religion, and there is one party that lines up more with what the beliefs of a Christian has than the other.
Is it a salvation issue on which party you belong to?
Well, Sam, I'll tell you, I'm independent, and I don't believe it's a salvation issue. Endtime doesn't believe that whatsoever. I vote what my values are, and so that means sometimes I make decisions that some of my friends don't agree with, and I'm okay with that. Our intent is not to sway people on how they vote whatsoever. Our intent is to sway people on how they pray and how they read their Bible. And so what we're trying to do is point out the Antichrist system, which is a world government, and if that's a Democrat pushing it or a Republican pushing it, we want to shine light on that. And so our intent is never to push Republican perspective or Democrat perspective, but we want to push biblical perspective. And if that leads someone to vote for a certain person in a certain party, whatever, that's not our concern. It's about where is the current events leading us and how it lines up with Bible prophecy. So our intent is not to push a Republican agenda whatsoever, because there's plenty there that doesn't line up biblically. So we're sorry that you're under that impression. We're sorry that you feel that way.
Vince has made jokes about Pelosi and all that, but like that poor guy from American Airlines, he was under the impression, or I got the impression, that it's a salvation issue, that his decision that he's got to make, that it's a hard decision that he has to make, and it's not. It's not the mark of the beast.
Well, actually, Doug specifically said that it's not a salvation issue, so I don't think he was under that impression at all. He was saying that he was praying about it, and he was going to do whatever the Lord led him to do, and we told him we would pray with him to do the right thing, and whichever decision he made, we know it wouldn't be an easy one, but we'd be praying with him. Sam, we are running out of time, and we want to get to other calls. We do appreciate you calling and sharing your perspective. We are not running away from opposing views whatsoever. Doug, we welcome conversations like these all the time, but we do want to get to some other callers, so we do appreciate you calling and sharing your perspective, and for being a long-time listener of Endtime Ministries. If we can do anything for you, please let us know. Contact us at endtime.com/contact, and we will communicate with you over the phone or via email, however best we can. All right, let's get to Warren in New York. Warren, welcome to End of the Age.
Yes, how you guys doing?
We're well. How are you, Warren?
Good, good. Yeah, I've just been chiming in. I've been listening to you guys recently from my local radio station here in Utica, New York, WJIV. And I see you guys having a conversation about this vaccine.
Yes, sir. Thank you for listening.
Yeah, so my thing is like my wife and I, when all this came out, and we see how the government, and they're trying to push the vaccine on us, and they're trying to force us, they're trying to get us, they're trying to say, oh, now it's the unvaccinated who are the COVID spreaders, they're the virus now. We all know it's a bunch of, malarkey. It's a hoax. They're just trying to push their evil satanic agenda on us. And, so, we were listening to a few services, my wife and I, lately we've been doing a lot of churching on YouTube. We do local churching here and there, but we've been listening to, a few Amir Savate and a few of them. And, and we all know it's not the mark of the beast, because in the mark of the beast, you have to have the beast first.
Warren, we've got about 30 seconds left, and I don't want you to not get your question in. If you can jump right to that, we'll be able to respond before we run out of time.
Yes. So my question would be, is how do you, the thing is, me and my wife, we're trying to discern, I know eventually, I don't know, I'm so confused on it, because I'm really been doing a lot of praying, Do we go for it, or, you know what I mean? So it's I don't know, kind of really kind of up in the air spiritually on this.
All right, thank you for your call, Warren. We've got about 10 seconds, so I'll reply really quickly. Keep praying. We'll be praying with you. We can't tell you one way or the other. We're telling you it's not the mark of the beast, but you need to seek the Lord to figure out what direction you should go.
This has been End of the Age, brought to you by the faithful partners of Endtime Ministries. If you're not currently a partner with Endtime Ministries, or if you would like more information, we invite you to call us at 1-800-ENDTIME. That's 1-800-363-8463, or visit us online at endtime.com.
Thank you for watching. If you liked this video, subscribe to our YouTube channel and like our Facebook page.